The Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, need to have a great game. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. And there's not a lot of advocacy for Dak Prescott these days. So when you look back at everything, you can talk about the wide receivers, the play calling, and the running game. You need to stand out. And that's the reality of it, Dak Prescott. And lately, I've been noticing they phased out Cooper Rush in the media. So it's all been Dak Prescott and Trey Lance. You rarely see Cooper Rush anywhere. So if anything, Trey Lance would be the next in line for that starting quarterback role. But all eyes will be on number 4. He needs to stand tall in this game. One can argue that he need a bounce-back game, right? Not just a bounce-back game. He need to have a bounce-back season. Even though last year he had X, Y, and Z things to happen, regardless of this, results are what matter, right? So results do all of the talking. And Dak Prescott, if we're going to continue to stay with Dak Prescott, he got to show us something, right? And he also got to provide a level of confidence within his gameplay. And regardless of what the wide receivers are doing, the play calling, or the running back, all eyes will be on 4. So he's going to have to stand tall. And speaking of that, even Jerry Jones had to come to practice, right? He had to come to practice in a suit and to see what his team is doing this week. So normally he's somewhere else, ducked off in the confines of his office looking over, but he had to come down physically on the field to see what's all going on with the Dallas Cowboys. And shout out to 42. We need to see more of him. We drafted him, play him. That's what I'm saying. You know, you just got to play these guys sometimes. And speaking of that, we went out there and got a linebacker, Rashaan Evans. This is him wearing number 57. Now, my thoughts with this is don't just get him and stash him. Get him and play him. We need help. We raise the blade thin at linebacker, and we need some results out there on the field. We need somebody to come down, hit, and make some plays out there, regardless of the situation or the scenario. So Rashaan Evans, we need to see him out there on the field. More than likely, the Cowboys will rock without him this week. But we need the results, man. We need to see if this guy can come down here, make some plays. And the Cowboys and Dan Quinn's system, he don't like linebackers, from my opinion. You know, from my knowledge of it, he don't like linebackers. He like to make safeties linebackers, right? So, and then he like to make linebackers defensive edge guys. So we need to see some type of force with these linebackers. It's cute. And nothing wrong with a little eyeshadow here and there, but sometimes, ladies, and I'm just using the ladies as an example, you can wear too much makeup, just a little eyeshadow here. You know what I'm saying? Don't put too much makeup on it. And more than likely, the Cowboys will go with Bell, Jefferson, and Jones as the fill-in guys for linebacker. Shout out to Jefferson. He's been a guy that's been making some plays here and there in the offseason and preseason. If you put Malik Jefferson out there, we're going to look for the results, right? And when you are also, ladies and gentlemen, trying to find solutions right now, and you didn't do it during the offseason, you got slim pickings. That's all I'm going to say on that, unless you want to make some trades and stuff like that. So the Cowboys got to do what they need to do, and that's old folks saying right there. But also, they are in process of moving Deshaun Wright back into the folds. He's in his 21-day practice window, so that's good news right there to have a cornerback like Deshaun Wright, and this is a contract year for him, by the way, and we need to see more out of him. We need to. And speaking of that, if this guy can ever get a chance to have some consistency out there on the field, meaning from the coaching staff, because when you see 30 out there, he making plays. That's Wanye Thomas. So hopefully the Cowboys figure that part out and figure out a way to get your playmakers out there on the field, those guys that's fast, those guys who's not afraid to come down and field, and those guys that can jar the ball out and force an INT. I need to see that. Speaking of that, Of course, this will be a situation and scenario that we need to see a big game from CD Lamb. There's been a lot of chatter going back and forth whether or not this offense have an identity. It appears that he's unhappy. He said that, hey, that's just his body style and his way that he like to do is stay away from people before the game kick off, and his body language sometimes can be off, right? But we seen you, dog, since you've been drafted. So you can't give us wee-woo analysis, man. People been already seeing who you are. So you can't all of a sudden in this year say, yeah, I'm X, Y, and Z. We know you're frustrated. We can see that you're frustrated. The Cowboys need to formulate a plan of action to get you the ball, regardless of the political football politics. Get you the ball. And if you get gaudy numbers, hey, pay the man. If not, don't try to lowball the man to keep the man, because we know how this system goes. Dez Bryant done already spoke about it. Other wide receivers done already spoke about it. Look, Jerry Jones, anybody up there, Dak Prescott, give my dog a bone. You know what I'm saying? Give him a chance. Stop playing that doggone political football stuff and stop trying to be scared to pay people, man. Formulate a plan. Let him be your secret weapon. Let him be your ultimate weapon, by the way. And we need to see a good game from him, a great game from him, an elite game from him. And on top of that, hey, put out an APB alert out for my guy, Brandon Cooks. I need for the veteran guys to stand tall. I need for veteran guys to be the voice of reasonings. Although he may be new to this team and he can fly planes, all of that great stuff. I need to see something with Brandon Cooks in this particular game. We all need to see him, man, because right now, all of that stuff we've been talking during the offseason, hey, this dude had so many consecutive 1,000-yard seasons or whatever that record was. We need to see 1,000-something yards over here, man. Hey, release the hounds. Come on, man. Do something for us. That's all I'm saying over here. And if these two guys can kick off and do something great, then let's go. Now, I get it, right? Michael Gallup, he's been the guy that's been, hey, this game he show up. Next game he disappeared. This game he looks like his leg is all good. And then the next game we start thinking about maybe in his mind he can't get the separation, he can't get the push, he can't get the jump in the air because he thinking about when he land and how he land and all of that stuff. Nevertheless, stop throwing it to him. Use these other guys that got good legs, man. They don't have to worry about that. Use CD Lamb. Use Brandon Cooks. Figure out ways to get the ball out to those boys over there and get things going in the right direction. And speaking of the right direction, Kevontae Turpin, who had a real good game last game, right? He was the guy that caught the touchdown. He's explosive. He got speed and all of that great stuff. Utilize the speed. Now, I don't know what it will look like. They said he had an ankle sprain. I don't know whether it's high or low because he's out here at practice, man, and that's a very, very good thing to do. Unless, he was pulled and he wasn't really hurt. I don't know about that. I ain't finna say use that conspiracy theory. But I'm going to say this, ladies and gentlemen. If you can, figure out a way to let Kevontae Turpin shine as well. I wouldn't be mad at it at all. He's a real fast guy. So let's utilize his speed, his quickness, and if he can be out there on the field, use him. If he's a hindrance, don't use him. That's simple as all I can say. And I'm going to go back to Dak Prescott. Hey, Dak, come on, man. They call me a Dak apologist, by the way, So I'm trying to figure out ways that you can show us a great game, man. Remember, the only thing that I'm going to accept from you this week will be great or elite game. You know what I'm saying? Those are the only things. We can't get one of those average game, below average games. We can't even get, look, we don't even want above average game. No, I take that back. All right, so 3 things I want. Either above average, a great game, or an elite type of game this week. That's what we want. That's what we need to see from you, So all of that other stuff can be put to rest. Cowboy Nation, stand tall or not at all. Let's continue to grind and shine. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Go Cowboys.